Welcome, it's your boy Mike. This is like a part 1 of 3 of my beloved Raptors team. In the first part, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to tell you the 5 reasons this Raptors season was a fail. Now, I missed a few things, or I didn't talk about a few things, and blah, blah, blah. Listen to the podcast where I talk about a bunch of stuff. But this is my first one. Then the second one, I'm going to talk about that number 1 issue that the Raptors had all season, which I think is going to be the theme of this whole summer for me. I just wrote down a bunch of things that I have for summer content, and a lot of it has to do with number 1. And just reasons of why this team didn't do so well, or reasons why, or what they need to do to fix this Raptors team. They recently lost to the Chicago Bulls, an unfortunate loss. A lot of you Raptor fans are very disappointed, but all in all, what the hell did you want? What did you want from this team? Did you think this team was going to win the title? It was never going to win a title. The worst thing that could have happened to this team was to face the Bucks and go 6 games for us to just believe that this team was good enough. And it's not. It's not good enough. And then the last video that I'm going to do is basically going to talk about what this Raptors team needs. Which, trust me, I have like 50 ideas. This is just one of the ideas that I may do 20 videos about alone of something that I think they need to do. But here are the 5 things that I believe happened to this Raptors team to make it a failure. Now, honorable mention. I did not mention this. I thought about it after I wrote it all down. Thought about it last night. I'm like, you know what? I didn't mention this person. Precious Achiuwa. Why I mention him is because we all of us in Raptor universe believed that he was going to have a leap. We all believed that this guy was going to do great because of how he finished the season last season. And that did not happen. Precious Achiuwa was not that good all year. If we had to rate and grade him, it wouldn't be a high grade. Precious Achiuwa wasn't good. I think he would say it himself. A lot of Raptor fans would agree he was not good. He did not shoot the 3 the way we wanted to. He made a lot of bad plays. He just did a lot of head-scratching plays. That's why he really reminds me of Norman Powell. That's why I feel like Precious Achiuwa can still be really good eventually, have that Norman Powell type of leap, not a great leap, but a leap that now makes everyone know who you are. And I think that's what happened to Precious, because Precious did the same thing that Norman did. He would drive into the lane with so much force and not know what to do with it and just cause a lot of mistakes. A lot of them. But let me go to my number 5 reason of why the Raptors season wasn't great. Pretty much horrible. A lot of you would say it was the most disappointing season. I would not say that. It just wasn't a good season. But my 5th reason is Scottie Barnes. Now, what about Scottie? In general, his energy. If we saw Scottie last year, his rookie season, that guy was a ball of joy. Even in interviews, he was laughing, he was smiling, he was so engaging with every single person, every single one. This year, I didn't see it. And that was from game 1. I'm like, something is different with Scottie. I don't know what it is. Something was off about Scottie. There's always going to be rumors, always people are going to say that there's some tension going on in the team. There could be tension with him and Fred. I don't believe so. I believe all these guys, they're all basketball players. They just want to win. And when you want to win, you want to be competitive. You get into each other's throats. You get into each other's heads. Sometimes you just may not get along for that season. But Scottie's energy was one of the main reasons why I do not believe the Raptors were good. He just didn't have that same fire. And when he did, was randomly during those 4th quarters. So at one point we were calling him 4th quarter Scottie. Why? It's because what he was doing in the 4th quarter. He honestly showed his ass throughout the whole 4th quarter, although a lot of 4th quarters. Because of him, we won a lot of games because we put the ball in his hands. He went to the post. He scored easy baskets, and that's what he can do. That's what made us all believe and love Scottie. But that energy wasn't consistent enough. Overall, I think that's the theme with this team, the lack of consistency. Number 4, lack of consistency. See, I just kind of carried it off. The lack of consistency throughout the whole team. Scottie, like I said, lack of energy. No energy throughout a lot of the games, especially in the 4th quarter. That's when we saw him level up. But where was the rest of that? We need to see that consistently. We need Scottie to be that guy. I believe when he's showing energy, this team is much better. A lot of teams need this type of guy, and he was that for this team this year. Sometimes you get it in like a Boucher type of player, maybe a Draymond Green type of player, but Scottie, it was in that mold of a Draymond, a Ben Simmons. We really needed to see that energy because that's last year. I believe this team believed in itself because Scottie himself believed in himself. When Scottie didn't believe in himself, then I feel like this team didn't believe in himself. I think all in all we have to say Scottie is the Energizer Bunny. He really is, and that's why this team needed it. But a lack of consistency wasn't just with Scotty. It was with OG. It was definitely with Gary. Fred definitely had an up and down season. I think the most consistent person all year was Pascal. Pascal was pretty consistent. He had a really bad stretch. He had 1 week where it just was not good. Really bad week. But within that week, I would say that's what cost him the All-NBA candidacy. But a lot of inconsistency. I said Precious Chua wasn't great all season. He was inconsistent. Pirtle, when he came in, I thought he was pretty consistent. Nick Nurse's coaching, inconsistent. Nick Nurse's lineups, inconsistent. All those things, just inconsistent. And that's why it's number 4 on my list of one of the reasons or why the Raptors season wasn't that good. Number 3, I mentioned his name, Nick Nurse. Nicky Nurse, baby. His calling out players got tiring. It got tiring. I said it in a video years back when he first got this team and we still had DeMar DeRozan for like that week or so. He honestly just he called him out the first like week, and I'm like, why is he calling this guy out? When Boucher plays bad, he calls out Boucher. When Gary plays bad, he calls him out. I think with Gary, he said this season, if he doesn't want to fit in, then he's going to fit out. Like, come on. Same thing that LeBron said about Kevin Love. Like, that's weird. I don't want to play for this team. I don't want to play for this team that if I make a mistake, I get called out. I don't want to play for this team when, if I'm Malachi Flynn, I give you 20 points, and then the next game, I don't even play. Like, that doesn't make sense. Why did I get a DMP? Why did Thad Young get a DMP for most of the games? And then his last game that Thad played, I thought it was pretty good. So why the hell did he get a DMP the next, like, 9, 10 games? The inconsistency in the lineup, that's Nick Nurse's fault. Nick Nurse, he didn't believe in his team. I don't believe so. He definitely didn't believe in the bench, hence why they never played. Now, the bench didn't play well all season, and I think there's a lot of factors to that. But one of the things I have to say is when they did play when we had a good Donald Banton game, when we had a good Malachi Flynn game, their next game they didn't play more than 20 minutes. Why is that? Donald Banton gave you a game of 27, like 9 and like 3. He didn't play the next game. I think he did, but just small minutes. That's what the problem is. Nick Nurse didn't believe in the team, and Nick Nurse, but him not believing in the team, his lack of minutes that he gave to the team is one of the biggest factors. There was a lack of confidence, hence why there was inconsistency throughout the game, throughout the season, because of the fact that this team didn't know how much minutes they were playing. Sometimes you need to have that standard. Sometimes you need to know that I'm playing 15 minutes a game. When you don't have it, it's not good. Chris Boucher has been playing well all season. He's one of the more consistent guys. He had some stretches, but everyone does. But he had some stretches, but most of the season, he's pretty good. He only played 7 minutes in the play-in. Why? Why did we do that? I think sometimes you've got to play your players, which leads me to number 2, the player development. You have to say, with Dwayne Casey, at the end of the day, he developed his players. Pascal, Fred, OG, Norm, heck, even DeMar, Kyle, all developed, became better players under Dwayne Casey. So why haven't we seen that recently? We can say it's because of draft, we can say it's because of this and that. I think Malachi Flynn's a good player. If Malachi Flynn can go 60 points in some like pro-am game, I think the man can give you 10 points in the league. I think he can hit his shots. I know sometimes he's inconsistent, but I think you're inconsistent because you don't get any minutes. You have to trust this team. DeLon Banton needed to be trusted more. Heck, Jeff Dowtin Jr. was trusted, but then we ended up not keeping him. There was no trust. The development of these guys was piss poor all season. We didn't allow guys to develop. We didn't allow guys to make mistakes. There was no development at all for any of these players. I think no player from beginning to end developed this season. And I mean from the bench. The starting unit, I think there was some development. I think some of these guys played really well. But from the unit that we, need to help us, which is our bench, there was no development. No one played better. No one came out of nowhere. It was nothing like that. And I feel like for Raptor fans, especially recently, we're so used to a guy coming out of nowhere. Some would say that could have been Jeff Dowtin Jr. I don't know. I just didn't see it. Weiss Camp was on the squad. We saw him play like once or twice. Like, if he's going to be a guy that we can trust shooting threes, maybe defensively could be lacking, let's let him out. Let's let him play. My number 1 reason, and what I'm about to make another video for, which hopefully you guys watch, like and subscribe, make sure, is the fact that this Toronto Raptors team had horrible role definition. This team did not have a good role definition, which led to the inconsistency. Everybody wanted to be number one guy. Everybody did. Everyone wants to be the number one guy. And that's what happened with this team. I guess with Nick Nurse's offense, he liked the free flowing offense. He liked that everyone kind of get the touches, everyone get their love, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes it didn't work out. Yes, we can all say Pascal was still given more opportunity to shoot, and so was Fred. But maybe that should have been the change. Like I said, that was just part one. Part two is me going into a deep dive. I'm just going to do like a big speech, basically saying why I believe that number one reason, which is the role definition being so trash, was that bad, and why it impacted the whole season, why it impacted guys, why it impacted, even Pascal making All-NBA, why it just impacted wins and losses. Make sure you like and subscribe, watch the next videos, make sure you listen to the podcast. I'll talk to you guys again. Peace.